Morning everyone. It is mid-November here and I just got back from a couple out-of-state trips. Headed to North Dakota the first week in November, and then I did some hunting out in South Dakota, and I was able to fill a couple of buck tags, and then was with a buddy in South Dakota who also filled his tags. So this first video here is going to be kind of recapping that North Dakota trip. I'm going to play a couple highlights of some earlier hunts before the day that I ended up shooting my buck. And then kind of just use the video a lot to break down what kind of came together on the morning of November 4th, when I had just an incredible morning where I saw about a dozen deer, and including what I think was 3 bucks. It is possible maybe the one I shot was the one that came through before first light, but regardless, just an awesome morning on November 4th. So these videos, I kind of like to use them as opportunities as much just to try to break down what I think worked from hunts, just to try to help out people as much as you know I can, if it's helpful to anybody else, in terms of what kind of I'm looking for in a setup and things like that when things kind of come together. So I'm not using any cameras or anything like that, so all the information that I'm kind of talking about is just based off building on prior hunts, building off scouting, things like that, and seeing what I'm seeing in the woods and then adjusting. So hopefully these can be beneficial for some people and everything. I'll play a few, kind of like I said, a few highlights from early in November on that North Dakota trip, and then jump into the tree with on the morning of November 4th. So I hope everybody's having an awesome November. We still have some time here. I know it feels like maybe that the best might be behind us a little bit right now, but I still got my Minnesota tag to fill, and I'm excited to get out this weekend and everything. So good luck to everybody who's still getting out, and yeah, I hope you've had a lot of success this November. Morning guys, it is November 4th and I'm in North Dakota doing some bow hunting, and every year I've hunted out here. I think this is my 7th year now, 6th or 7th year, and every year you can set the clock to November 4th, November 5th. They're going to be fantastic days. It's crazy how consistent that has been. I'm out here with my dad and a buddy of mine, and my dad got a nice doe on his first evening hunt. He wasn't concerned about waiting around for a buck or anything like that, so he took the first nice doe that came by and got us started. And my buddy Sam and I have been having kind of like that classic lead up to where some big deer get on their feet and everything. We've been seeing, you know, forkies and 6-pointers, those 1.5 olds, pushing deer around a little bit. And then even just in the last day or so, I've seen a lot of does alone and fawns alone, indicating that, you know, those fawns are getting run off and everything. And when I see that, I've seen that consistently on those first couple of days of November out here. It may be a little different in wherever areas that you hunt and stuff, but November 1st, 2nd, somewhat 3rd, I've shot good deer out here on the 3rd. It seems like the bigger bucks are starting to kind of start looking on that November 3rd. But I was talking to my buddy in the camper last night and said it's about to pop. Like from everything we were seeing, those young bucks really chasing, and all of a sudden when those fawns are alone, you know, that indicates that those does are getting ready to breed, and it's not too far off. And so this morning I came in and got situated, and I've had one of the craziest mornings I've had bow hunting. I saw 3 bucks that I would have loved to shoot. The first one came in about 5 minutes before legal light, was right in my shooting lane. I knew it was not legal light yet, so I knew I wasn't going to get to shoot it. But it came through, and I wanted to see, you know, can I practice draw on this? Like, could I get away with the movement to draw right where he's at, right in a shooting lane, in case I had a buck come through after light? And so I drew on him, got away with it and everything like that, and then just let down, and he moseyed his way through and stuff. So that was disappointing. Well, it wasn't 10 minutes after legal light, and another one comes through, and this one is huge, a really big buck, bigger than that first one that came through and everything. And I thought he was going to take that same trail, cut it right down and everything, and come 15 yards right in front of me. And instead he got out in front of me and he walked straight to the base of my tree, and I didn't really know what to do because he was going to get downwind of me. And it was just kind of a hectic moment. I decided I need to try to draw now. So he put his head down a little bit, but he was just too close to me, and it was just too dead calm. And I drew back, and I got busted. And so he ran out. So I'm still flustered from that, frustrated. And about 15 minutes later, all of a sudden, back up from the other direction, down the trail here, comes another buck. And this one is coming right down that same trail that first one took. And he came right through. And it was just kind of a crazy situation because I tried to stop him straight broadside. That's what I wanted to do, because I was drawn back, anchored in. I wanted to stop him straight broadside. And he didn't hear me when I bleated at him. So he kept moving through, and I needed to wait and let him get through some brush. So then he's quartering away when I stop him. So I stop him, and I'm anchored in, and I'm settling the pin and just getting ready to pull through. And all of a sudden, you'll see it in the video, he takes a couple steps, at least one step forward before that arrow breaks. And so it was a hectic situation there where I didn't feel great about the shot. You'll see on the video, like, the shot looks further back. But I'm shooting these iron will single bevel heads, and this is not me talking about something after I've shot with just, you know, or I've shot just 1 or 2 deer. I've been using these for 4 years now, and I've used every type of broadhead, you know, from 3-blade fixed when I first started, to a lot of different expandables, to now for 4 years I've been using single bevels. And I just absolutely love them and how they eliminate deflection. This deer, you'll see on the video, I really believe that this broadhead kind of saved me in this situation. I'm shooting the wides this year, so I've got a little bit bigger cut. And now he was quartered away, so I knew that I wanted to be back a little further, but I did not want to hit him that far back. I wanted to be further forward than that. And when I shot him, that arrow penetrated straight through, buried in the dirt. That deer ran 35 yards and stopped. And he stood there, and then he got weak and he just fell over. Based on what I was when I saw that shot go in, I was super nervous. I thought it was too far back. I thought it was going to be a situation where we're going to have to let it sit for hours. And yeah, and that deer died so fast. So I'm interested to get up on them and see exactly where the exit is and everything. But again, it's just one of those things where you just don't get deflection when you're getting that rotation through the cut. And I think that wide head probably had an impact too and everything, because I was very surprised at how quickly that deer died, which is awesome. Obviously, we don't want to have to wait 8 hours or something to go look for a deer and stuff like that. So anyway, it was a crazy morning. Awesome buck. I think it's just a nice 10.3.5-year-old. I was going to hunt one more day here in North Dakota, and then I'm going out to South Dakota to meet a buddy of mine in South Dakota to do some hunting out there and everything. So this is the time of year to be out. I mean, it's like I said, November 4th, November 5th. It's, if I could pick 2 days to hunt all year, in the areas that I hunt in, at least where I'm hunting in North Dakota, I would get in a vehicle and drive the hours out here to hunt in North Dakota on November 4th and 5th, because it's been incredible, and it's year after year after year the same kind of activity. So yeah, we'll get down and go find my arrow and get up on them. Right. Right. There he is. A little further he went. Big buck. Awesome. Hey guys, we got him tagged and everything, and I just wanted to touch on a couple things quick. You can see right down here, that arrow ended up exiting right in front of the backside shoulder. So got zero deflection with it. It entered and exited exactly where it should have based on the body angle. He was quartering away, and ended up killing him quite fast and everything. So that's obviously great. I'd still like to get that arrow further forward. You saw he took a step before I shot and everything. Ideally, I would have liked to have that arrow further forward, even at a quartered away angle like that. So number two I wanted to touch on real quick was the fact that a couple weeks ago I talked about finding the food and finding the does and how that would position you well for the rut. I really wrestled with whether or not to sit here, because there isn't a obvious food source around this stretch of woods for a long ways. So I'll kind of turn the... All right, as you can see, this is all wheat stubble. Everything around this stretch of woods is plowed, and there's no deer using the fields right now. I walked it yesterday and really didn't see a track on the field anywhere and stuff. But what I wanted to do after I had an empty sit on November 3rd on the morning is I got out because I didn't feel good about my spot, and I wanted to come check this area out, because in my scouting I knew it was a really good pinch point. And so I got in here and I just stopped right here, and I could tell, like, all right, deer are using this. It's getting worn to the mud here. And so I still wrestled with whether or not to sit here, because I've got another piece of property a few miles from here that I know with sugar beets, and I know there's deer feeding on there, and I've seen like half a dozen deer there every time I've sat there. And I'm sure I could have had good hunts there too. I'm very confident in that, actually. But this area just kind of screamed at me. You can see how torn up it is and how good of a pinch point it is. And the reason it's such a good pinch point is because it's so close to bedding. You can see how thick it is in here. It's not some pinch that's in wide open timber or anything like that. So I just thought, you know, I sat here last night, I saw a young basket rack buck and then a doe. And I thought, I'm gonna sit one morning here because November 4th has been so good over the course of the years I've been out here. And I just thought I wanna be in an area that's I just had to trust that deer were moving through here at some time. And the wind was out of the southeast today, so blowing right back this way, right into my face. And my thought was that bucks would wanna come cruise the backside of this bedding with that wind blowing from the bedding through this pinch and everything. So I thought there is one trail over there that a couple deer have used that I've seen, but I figured, you know, bucks would want to kind of cruise this edge to take full advantage of that wind, and that's exactly what they did. That first one that came through, he was at, you know, before legal light and stuff. He stopped right here and was sniffing. That huge one came right down here, but instead of following this trail down, he moved up right into the base of my tree. That's where I shot this one out of. And then it wasn't long after when this buck came down this trail, came right through here and got a good shot. So yeah, if you're ever wrestling with that, I know I wrestle with it, you know, where I want to be in situations where there's an obvious food source. Sometimes they're obviously feeding somewhere, whether that's on acorns, things like that are still left over and stuff. But sometimes you just have to trust what the sign is telling you and put yourself at this time of year in a fantastic pinch point like this that's surrounded by bedding. So that was my thoughts when I came in here. Hopefully maybe that can be helpful to some of you guys who kind of look at sign and are wondering like how much sign is the right sign to set up on. The way that this path is paved with all this movement, and how you got 3 trails coming together here. One goes that way, this one, all of them meet right here next to this bedding. So I figured it was worth throwing a set at, and it ended up being a awesome morning. So